Hey guys, Ambience here. Today I'm going to be showing you how to beat Night 4 on Five Nights at Freddy's 3, so let's go ahead and get straight into it. Also, I tried turning down the game volume a little bit, moving my mic further away from my mouth, so hopefully that solves some of the audio issues I've been having. I hope the popping of the microphone in the last few videos hasn't been too annoying. It's probably still noticeable, but it won't be like completely overbearing, I think, so... Go ahead and seal Cam 14 at the start, as usual. Let's look around for a Springtrap, see where he is. He is in Cam 7, so let's play audio in Cam 8 and lure him to Cam 10, one room by one. Let's go ahead and get him over to Cam 9 next. Go ahead and switch real quick and play the audio. We watch him on the camera because I believe that it stalls him, so we're more likely to be able to move him over here. So we just want to switch to this camera and then play audio at the last second. There we go. And he is now in Cam 10, so let's go ahead and reboot the audio. Also, guys, the only Phantom animatronic that can spawn before 1 AM is Phantom Foxy, so keep an eye out for him, but otherwise you will be fine. I recommend panning slowly to the left side of the office instead of trying to do it as quickly as possible. The reasoning for this being, of course, that if Phantom Foxy's over there and you notice him, you can actually avoid him by panning back to the right and then opening and closing the monitor. He will be gone afterward. Alright, it is now 1 AM. As soon as it hits 1 AM, guys, the rest of the Phantom animatronics are going to begin spawning. We're going to counteract them by not viewing Cam 4, not viewing Cam 8, and trying our hardest not to view Cam 7 unless we absolutely have to. The reason for this, of course, is that Phantom Mangle only appears on Cam 4, Phantom Puppet only appears on Cam 8, and Phantom Chica only appears on Cam 7. So we can avoid those cameras altogether. We obviously will never get jump scared by those particular animatronics. So that is going to be our main goal, is to avoid a Phantom jump scare and just keep Springtrap locked in Cam 10 for as long as possible. Here I'm in a vent. Here he is, Cam 14. That's a sealed vent. I'm going to go ahead and reboot the camera system. Whenever you have spare time, by the way, like Springtrap is in a sealed vent, it's going to take him a while to get out. I recommend rebooting his system. If you just used an audio play, you can go reboot the audio, for example, and you'll have an extra charge of it. I recommend doing that. Or you can reboot the camera system, you know, basically whatever, but don't just waste time. If you hear that ambience cue playing in the background, no pun intended, obviously, since that's my channel name, but if you hear that sound cue, you see Freddy over here? Yep, that plays when he's walking past a window, and it also plays when Springtrap is in Cam 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, basically when he's close to the office.
Hello?
He's in the vent again, I think. There's also a sound cue that plays when Springtrap enters a vent. You can hear him clanging around there. It sounds a bit like it does in FNaF 2. So whenever you hear that, even if you don't see him in the vent, it's probably a pretty safe assumption that he is in the vent. So do whatever you have to do. Try and seal the vent if it's not already sealed for some reason, or go reboot the system. I probably should have clicked reboot all there, by the way, just for future reference. If Springtrap is happy, like if he's off in Cam 10 or he's in a vent, then I'd recommend clicking reboot all, at least on the early nights if you have 2 or more systems that are failing. It's just very efficient in general. It is now 3 AM, so we're just going to keep Springtrap here. So yeah, the Phantom animatronics are pretty simple to avoid. There's a few ways to avoid Phantom BB. As I mentioned before, Phantom BB actually only appears on 4 cameras. Most people think that he appears on all cameras besides vent cameras, but this is actually not true. He appears on Cam 1, 7, 9, and 10. So there's a few ways to avoid him. What I like to do is, as soon as I bring up the monitor, I click map toggle and then instantly click it again. This will get Phantom BB out of the way without me even having to actually react to him being there, because the reaction time is so short. It's just something I do automatically every time I open the monitor, pretty much. You guys have probably noticed. There's Springtrap in Cam 14, the vent. It's also very good because it allows me to actually see if Springtrap is in the vent or not. I only need to look for a second to be able to tell. We'll wait for Springtrap to leave. Even if the cameras are disabled, you can tell when Springtrap moves, because this will be replaced with gray static and the sound will get louder. We'll see in a bit. He's hanging out in there for a while, looks like. There we go. So he just left. We're going to listen. No banging around in the vent, so we play audio. It goes like that again, and that means that he is now back to Cam 10. As you can see, Freddy's walking past a window, playing the sound cue again. Freddy's very simple to avoid. I think he's the easiest Phantom animatronic to avoid in general. Just don't look directly at him. You can scroll past the office while he's walking. Don't worry about that. Just don't, like, linger in one place and stare directly at him at the window. If he jumps behind the window, you're about to get jump scared, and the ventilation is going to fail. So keep that in mind. But yeah, I think Freddy is very simple to avoid in general. Foxy's a bit harder, which is why I recommend panning slowly. He's not very aggressive until like night 5, so he won't be too much of a problem, but I would recommend being aware of it just in case. If he does appear over here, you can go back over, pull up the monitor, and then close it, and he will be gone. So basically, to recap, we're going to try to keep Springtrap in Cam 10. If he does escape it, then we're going to try to keep him in Cam 7 with Cam 12 sealed, but hopefully it won't come to that. There's no reason why it should. He moves very slowly on the early nights, even night 4. Not really much of a problem until night 5 or night 6, I think. So yeah, we can just keep him trapped in Cam 10 most of the time pretty reliably. Make sure not to check Cam 8, Cam 7, or Cam 4 after 1 a.m. as the chance of you getting jump scared by a Phantom animatronic is pretty high, and we don't want that, obviously. Phantom animatronics jump scaring the player and causing ventilation errors is like one of the worst things that can possibly happen. It freaks out newer players quite a bit, and it makes it really difficult for any player, but especially inexperienced players, to figure out what's going on. Sometimes you'll see multiple spring traps through the building when you're hallucinating. That causes a lot of issues, so it's best to just avoid them altogether, but thankfully it is actually very simple. See? Foxy's right here, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pan back over to the right. See? He's gone. So anytime that you see Foxy over there, and you should be panning slowly so that you can see him, don't like go completely slow, but just make sure that you can actually see him standing over there before you pan all the way to the left side of the office. So once you see him over there, just scroll back over to the right, open and close the monitor panel, and go do whatever you have to do on the maintenance panel. No big deal there. So yeah, I basically was just talking about on this video the various ways to avoid all of the Phantom animatronics and what you should be doing to avoid all of them. Springtrap really isn't very much of an issue until night 5 or 6, so I wouldn't worry about it early. Just play audio in Cam 10 whenever he leaves, and be sure to check the vent just to make sure that he's not down there. Another useful tip for you guys is no Phantom animatronics can spawn in the vents, so don't worry about getting jump scared by a Phantom animatronic while you're down there. So I think that just about covers it, guys. At some point I will talk a little more about just how Springtrap works and more about various backup options, but you guys really shouldn't need them up until like night 5 or 6. So anyway, with that being said, thank you guys for watching this guide. I hope it helped you, and I'll see you in the next one.